So here we are. I just realized I have a lot of data like autofill addresses and emails and stuff around, and I mean, I'm not that hyped about having them online on in a Twitch VOD, so I had to clean this stuff up, and this is just a good use case of streaming to check if your code is okay, because I mean code or environment, because if you're polluting the thing with a lot of personal data is not good. So welcome to my first streaming about programming, and my first streaming in English. So I'm a bit rusty and how to say, agitated. I don't know if it's a word. So excuse me if I'll stutter a little bit or be incomprehensible at times. I already have something to check, because I'm not sure about how autocomplete decides on Chrome to actually save fields to autofill later. So there's that. Probably doesn't do that in how do you call this, incognito. But I'll still try and see if it's working somehow. Let's see. Autofill on incognito. Using incognito in Chrome, a bunch of autofill stuff came up when typing something in the search bar, and that's kind of okay, because if not, I cannot test it. But how to save stuff? Welcome to incognito, where you are not incognito. Move to Sandbox Solutions or Brave and others. I've been using Firefox, but I had to use Chrome for something specific, and I noticed this. It won't store new data. Okay. So I'll have to do that from my regular browser, I guess. And that's what's gonna happen now. I just switched to the full screen webcam. You'll just have to bear with me for a second. Wait, I'll post one thing on X, because I went offline and then back online. So stick with me. Repost. No repost. I am sorry. Now for real. Just had to adjust a few things and post. So let's say I want to add a test address so I can check if autofill it's working properly. Test name, test surname, test address, test municipality, 1 2 3 4 as a zip code, test province, test at email.com, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 as a phone number, 9 and 0, and let's go. Okay, save address. It's actually right. Next, and now we'll save it. Country, region, save. Kind of like it. So right now, if I go back to my incognito page and here we are. When I delete all this stuff, let's say I come here and it's clean. I do this, and strangely enough, it didn't autofill everything. Why is that? I mean, yeah. How do you autofill one address field without a single field? No, customize autofill for field basis. This is strange. This is really strange. I feel like I could try it like this because I already touched these fields. So if I go to application and delete the cookie and come back here, of course, now I'm back to the shop because I have nothing in my basket. I add something to the basket, go on, and here, oh, okay, it worked. It worked. It's working. So I'll resume from where I stopped the streaming before. This page used to be just for shipping data, and then you had to fill mandatorily invoicing data in another page, which, by the way, is still accessible. I think it will not work now because I broke some code behind. But if I do this, yeah, that's working. This is the old shipping page, and if I fill it, which had some obvious autofill problems here, and test address 1 and on, and then okay, it's working. The shipping, the billing page, invoicing page actually, where you could choose between a legal person and natural person. So if you were a company, a legal person, you should have to click here or here if not. And now we're reducing this step to just one step, which condenses the invoice. First, invoicing is not mandatory anymore. You can do it or just get away with a simple receipt. And if you decide you want the invoice, you just toggle between company or natural person, and you can also copy the address clicking here. So here you click and the address from above gets copied here. You can't copy anything of these 4 fields because, of course, here you have personal data. Here instead you're gonna put data about your company. In the case of natural person, you can copy almost everything, just the tax ID is not autofilled, and that is not autofilled from the browser either, because it's not good to have this kind of data saved in the browser anyways. And I mean, the page is ready. I don't have to develop kind of any more of it tonight. You can see that if a field is missing, an error pops up, and it stays there until you start putting stuff in here. So A, B, C, D, E, F, 1, 2, A, 3, 4, A, 1, 2, 3, B. I don't think it will accept this, but let's try it. In fact, this this is lame. I will have to invent some actual. Oh well, I guess I can get away with this and just not think about it. what I wanted to test tonight before deploying is that the actual checkout works both with both shipping data and invoicing data, which is what used to work before, and also the new version where invoicing data is not committed to the database anymore, which I already tested, but I'm not. I kind of fiddled with the code after, so I will be more comfortable in testing it again. Also, I need this actually because there's something I still need to implement. So let's say let's try this. I'll use the typical Italian name, please. Rome M generate. Okay, that's okay. Nice. Like this, and go on. And here you can see I have both shipping and billing. Now, what I wanted to do, if I want to go back and edit the data, if I click here, of course, it sends me back to this page, and that's fine. But I want this button to send me here. And I already tried to do something like that, because if I move to, it's a bit of a mess organization wise in my code, but I'm trying to break it to make it to tidy up the stuff 1 month or the other. So let's say that was this component, components partial here. And if I look for links, here is one link and here's the other, and this one is actually to be changed here. Sorry for the Italian here, but the URLs are in Italian because the company is Italian and it's just serving Italy, so there are some leftovers from Italian stuff. I tend to write code in English, and also the URLs will stay like this, and if I have a function that makes a URL, a link, I want it to sound exactly like the URL, so that's it. The right ID I want to go to is down here, which may be, I mean, I can do this and see that this div here, or even better, the container here, this is invoice checkbox container, which could be fine. Invoice checkbox container. So let's say I'm down in the summary, I click here, it sends me down to the invoice section. And what I don't like is that it's scrolling till here, but this thing is covered by the navbar, of course, and there's no solution to that that I know without using JavaScript. So I think I will just go with JavaScript. And there's the thing. First, this doesn't sound good to me because it's all Italian up until here, and then here you have English, but I don't want to change the ID in the HTML just to have this nice URL. So what I think I'll do, I mean, I don't want it because then I need to put a comment and say, don't change this ID, please. It's the only one in Italian, but it is for a good reason. So what I'll do is to right here, fatturazione, which means invoicing. And then I'll try to as soon as JavaScript starts, let me find the page. Okay, here. As soon as JavaScript starts, I will try to parse the URL, extract the fragment, and if the fragment is this here, autoscroll where I want to, even because I built a kind of a little utility library to autoscroll to everywhere I need, because you know it happens that you didn't fill a field, you are down here, you click on go on, and you need to autoscroll to the field. And also my library takes care of the offsets of the actual visible area that you define by passing down some options, so it works properly. If I tell it to scroll to this and tell it the height of this and this, it will scroll like this and not like this, which is what I want. So the issue here is I don't know how to extract fragment from an URL in JavaScript. Replace state to remove the URL fragment. I don't know if I want to remove it. Actually, I don't want to remove it. I want just to parse it. Parse fragment from an URL. Parsing URL hash fragment identifier with JavaScript. I'm not a fan of Stack Overflow most of the time, but if MDN doesn't come up first, I will try to see on Stack Overflow if I find something. Look at this. Use URL search params. Widely available. That's what I like to see. Available across browsers since April 2018, which sounds good to me. I don't need MDN in Italian. Defines utility methods to work with the query string of a URL. URL search params objects are iterable, so they can directly be used in a structure. I don't care about it. Why should I use an object? For God's sake. I don't like the fact that you have to instantiate an object to interact with an API. I'd rather have functions, but here we are. So I could just try it like this. Go down here. Let me know if the code is big enough to follow along, because I usually have it like this, but I feel it's too small for a stream, so I zoomed in, and I hope it's okay. I feel a little bit claustrophobic actually, because how many characters can fit here? Oh well, 85, 86, so I'm just having very wide lines. I hope. Is there any structure? There's an iterator. Okay, so like this. And then console log search params. let's try it. So console. Oh, size 0. I don't like this. Why just 0? How does it work? Options: a string which will be parsed from application percentage ignore. You have to pass the URL inside it. Directly from a URL object. Okay, that's even better, I guess. But right, window location. I'm a dumbass. JavaScript is not my piece of cake, actually. I'm more comfortable on the back end. So I guess better. So what if I mean, to string is what did they say? This can be closed, actually. What did they say? That you can okay, ref origin. What's the rest? There was a for each here, actually. For cons key value. Okay, key value. So for let key value of of search parents, just like that. Yeah. I can print key value and try again. So origin, protocol, host name, port, path name, hash. So I just need to do it like this: parents.hash. That's not the best way to Is it true though? I mean, I should learn to debug JavaScript from the browser, but too lazy to do it now. I have something to finish here. Keys. How do you access by key value? Because it's an iterable. So delete entries for each get return the first value associated with a given search parameter. So I guess if I do search parents get hash, not actually sure. Again, returns the first value associated with the given search parameter. Let's see. Get name of the parameter to return. So I think I'm right here. And no, wait. This is in the query string. What about the hash? Returns an iterate, allowing iteration through all keys of the key value pairs contained in this object. Append to string, set, delete to string. No URL parsing, percent encoding. How difficult could it be? I mean, you say I can just do this. And it's I'm better than this usually, I promise. Yeah, it works, so no need for this. But does it work across all the browsers? Does it work across all the browsers? Window location. Window location. Okay, location is widely available, and I mean, it would be silly if it differed in its content across browsers. So it would definitely be silly. Let's say if, yeah, location hash. So I think specifications. Yeah, it specifies. So I mean, I will test it later. I'll just take note to check the major browsers that people are using in Italy and on our side, but I'm pretty confident it will work. Test window location hash across browsers. And so if window location hash equals, was it right though? Yeah, actually it isn't, and for a very good reason. Which is that here used to be the wrong one, so now it is the right one. And what we'll do is that if that's the case, I will autoscroll. Where do I have that code? Let's do it like this. Scroll element into view. Utils scroll element into view, which needs the element. No, scroll element. I mean, here it is. The element which is identified by the hash, actually, so we can I will just query for it again. I mean, I don't care. Invoice. What is this? Checkbox container. I can't write. Element by ID. What did I say it was? Invoice checkbox container. And I will scroll this thing into view. Invoice checkbox container. You know, I'm not I'm not really convinced that this is the best way to go, because you see, when I scroll an element into view, I need to set some thresholds, which is what I was talking about before. So the fact that the window is not actually up until here and down till here, but it's just this central part. But to have that working properly, I have to query the actual sticky elements. And to query the sticky elements, I have to have them. And I was okay with getting an element by ID here once more, but getting 3 starts to become a little bit cumbersome. So instead of defining a new function autoscroll here and execute it at the beginning, I will rename setup listeners later to something like main, I guess, and I will delete this and put it down here, because this way I already have all the elements as constants. So invoice contain, god damn it, invoice container, invoice receipt, invoice checkbook. Strange that I didn't need that. Why didn't I need that? Because I had this too. Also, it's not a checkbox container anymore. Now I'm noticing that. Split, HTTP docs, pages, invoice checkbox container. It's not a checkbox container, and it has a lot of inline style, which I will move up. It's not a checkbox container because they asked me to change the checkbox to a radio button, so that name is improper. But I guess it'll stay like that. What about invoice title container? I will also have to move this CSS away from here and into a separate file. But for now, it's okay like that. Invoice title container, and that's better. As usual, I put an assert so that if I change something, I will notice that something broke. That's fine. And now I can simply scroll this element into view, and I will have to define thresholds and scroll data, which, by the way, thresholds, I will just copy this because I'm lazy and it works and there's no reason to change it. Maybe I'll refactor it later if I have enough time. Scroll data, extra scroll -10, and that is something we will just try to tune later. So thresholds and scroll data. And if I'm right, let's say I'm back in the last page, I go back to here and it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Because invoice title is not defined, because I wrote invoice title instead of invoice title container somewhere. Yeah, container. Up. And it does work, because if I'm visiting this, it just stays up to the top. If I'm doing this, it's not doing what I expected it to do. Why is that? Now it worked. So let's do one more thing. We forced it through. We want -20 to have a little bit more air up to the top. Okay. No, the cache is disabled, so what was wrong? Okay, because if you don't refresh, it's not refreshing. If you're already on this page and tap, but if I refresh, it scrolls down. Okay, so it's just a weird browser behavior, nothing actually to bother about. Am I happy with that? I'd say I'm happy with that, because if I click here, it goes up to the top, but if I click here, it goes down to here. So maybe we can do this even better, because we can scroll down to here. I'd rather have that like that. So now it's easy. Let's do this. If window location hash and then this, and here autoscroll element. I mean, I can just copy it. It's faster. And instead of invoice title container, I will say shipping title container, which I don't have, of course. Shipping title container, where is it? Shipping title container. It's not here. I mean, not where is it, but what is it? Shipping invoice form, that could be fine. Shipping invoice form. Shipping invoice form. Shipping invoice form. And here we go. So here, shipping invoice form, thresholds, scroll data, and also I'll go to links, because I have to update links. This is the good thing of having links in functions. You change them in one place, you change it. I mean, a constant would do just fine, but with a function I can also pass stuff here, so I can make it absolute or relative, and now I change it here, and it changes all around the rest of the code, which is good. I just noticed that this make URL could use another parameter for the fragment. So let's say that here we do this. Okay, so this goes out of the window, but I need to do this. It's used just in a bunch of places. This could be like this. The other one could be like this. And then we have it in cart, checkout. So here we go. You know, I don't think this needs the query string here, because it's not if I do it like this, that's something that it's a workaround for all the pages where the redirection happens because of JavaScript and not because of basic browser navigation. So if you're navigating from one page to the other because of JavaScript, I want to have a mean of saving the query string, because if I don't, the query string will be wiped out, and that's not good for tracking with query strings. Google Tag Manager does some stuff and puts some something in the query string, and I want to preserve it, and it's automatically preserved because of URL rewriting from their JavaScript, I guess, when you're navigating normally. But if I have a page where I submit a form and then I navigate to the next page by means of JavaScript saying, okay, window location dot href equals this, if I don't put the query string, if I don't preserve manually the query string there, it breaks, and on the next page I lost track of my user. So I don't want that, so I created this this thing here. But the other day I was distracted and started using it everywhere, even because I forgot how it worked actually, and so I had it on this button here, which I didn't need, because this button here navigates directly to the next page. So Google whatever.js will do its job just fine. This works then. So we took care of the cart. We have to take care about the checkout, include checkout. Yeah. Checkout. Here you can see it again. You don't need this. You don't need this either. I was planning to fix it, and I'm fixing it, and I'm quite happy that it happened like this pretty naturally. So here you navigate to the page as it is. Here we can get rid of this, which is not used anymore. And here we'll just have to pass down the fragment. But this means I'm well, wait a sec. Here I need to write string fragment return if mod's absolute main URL, else nothing, relative URL, and then if fragment equals empty string, else fragment, I mean, I could use this one, and then the query. The only problem I have now is that all these functions do not take the fragment, so I will just have to go up from here. That's line 17, and this is line 255, so 17 to 255 substitute query with fragment, and then query, and that's not enough. Let's just check it's okay, but it should be, because that's all I have in here. Okay, and that's not enough because I also have to go from line 17 to 255 and substitute string query equals empty string with I mean, well, let's do it like this. String fragment equals empty, and then I'm torn because the fragment comes before the query in a URL, but it's much more likely that I use the query string than the fragment, first of all. Second, it could be much easier if I just go like this, say this, because I don't have to go and change all the code in the rest of the code base, which is a waste of time. So yeah, 17 255 comma query with comma query. Let's say this, we change it with fragment. Yeah, looking good. So the last thing we need is to do this and change this thing here. I mean, I'd be safer if I do it like this and say string fragment, and we are done, because all the links now support the fragment. I did it wrong. I need it to be an empty string by default, and here we are. All the pages now support, all the links support the empty fragment, but just those two that I added lately, which are here, will need to I really don't like the empty string. I prefer to put a null there to be explicit about the fact that I didn't forget to put a string. What can you do? This is starting to become a little bit nasty, so I'd rather have It's longer, but it's more readable, if you ask me. I could go like this and support null. Fragment different from empty string. URL concatenate with fragment. Then query. Query is not empty. URL query. Yeah, I mean, there's supposed to be a question mark here. And I guess that's it. Because should be fine. Should be perfectly fine. So the last thing is, again, from line 17 to 255, if I find string query and string fragment equals empty string, I could replace this with string, string or null. Is it like that? Yeah. Query string fragment. Okay, seems fine. I just have to see if it works properly around the website, but I guess so. I mean, it's not rocket science. Nothing is rocket science here, actually. Null. Okay, so let's say we what did I break? I did break something. The definition parameter fragment in links on line 117. I think I did something very bad here. Don't ask me how this happened, but it happened. The price to pay for having such a small window, I guess. I could get rid of this or this and do this. Okay, so now I can see everything seems fine to me now, but I said that before too, and everything blew up, so what do I know? Okay, here we are. Next. This one says okay, is yeah, right, because I said one thing and did another. This is supposed nope, this is right, so it's here that we have a problem. Query can be null, fragment. Why is that though? I mean, query comes first and fragment comes next. So if I'm yeah. Okay, here it is. Not rocket science, but I still managed to break it. So oh, this is fine. This is really fine. And this goes down here. Perfect. Perfect. So this is something I wanted. Let me just write down one thing. Autoscroll. Fine. And then we'll look into some other thing. Let me see my notes about what's to finish here. Scroll to fragment, gone. It's fine. User orders are okay because I checked that before, and testing is not funny to see, so I will just develop something else. I'd rather do that. Actually, not sure actually, because it's pretty much done. So it's just time to refactor something a little bit. Specifically, if I go down to the page, you see that it's 1,800 lines long, and this is also due to the fact that validation is handled in line right here up above. But the first thing I have to get rid from is the CSS. It must go into a file. Like this, and let me think about it, because I will have to change the Webpack file too, and say that where is it? It's not just the JavaScript file, but also the CSS file. Of course, I'm saying this if I'm not going to explain the full stack of this project, and if you're kind of curious about why things are the way they are and why everything looks like such a mess, feel free to ask. Here we're just I mean, Webpack was already set up to minimize and bundle the files, and starting from SCSS files. I'm not a huge fan of SCSS. I'd rather write a standard CSS, so I'm just sticking to what we had before, but writing CSS the way I want. Here we need to tell him that is Webpack a he or a she? To tell him that we want to produce a CSS file, a minimized CSS file from this SCSS file, and he will call it ordine spedizione fatturazione dot CSS. So I'll go here and I need to do something like this. I'm not too concerned about the number of files. I'll tell you later why. Many of those are already in cache from previous interactions if you get to this point, so it's fine. I mean, this one is new. This shouldn't be new. This should be new, but it's very small. I'll also test it with Lighthouse and see how it is. But for now, let's say I'm okay with it. This is not needed, but can't hurt. So generic style from common SCSS in order to remove bootstrap, which I couldn't do, so probably I don't need this stuff anymore. Let's try to do I mean, I'd rather have it and have it duplicated, because the day I take away the common thing, I want to be able to copy this and not have to run around and rebuild it. We already did this effort once. There's no need to do it twice. Then form input, form text area. They're calling me. Here we are. So I was just copying everything because, I mean, we need it all. Tac. Here it goes. And this to do can go. And if I go back to the page here, it's broken. It's broken, but I know why. I have to restart npm run watch. Which is slow. I don't like this technology at all. I also don't like that we have to build so big. Oh, wait. What? What on earth? For errors. Can't resolve image form input error SVG. You don't have to. You really don't have to. None of your business, man. That's none of your business. How do I convince him not to do that? I really... I really don't like this thing that's happening here. Because that should just be a relative relative path. And I don't know if I'm doing that anywhere else, so... Exactly. I want the browser to load this image separately from my static directory. I'm not sure what to say about what I've tried so far. You see, I mean, the browser handles that perfectly. I want to be able to do this without effort. That's why I hate to have this kind of things in the stack, because if I write a normal CSS file, it will just put that string there. There will be a relative URL to the SVG file, and it's done. Then the browser will just load it. Now I have to deal with this instead. Are you using CSS loader? And if so, try removing it. Why would you use Webpack for CSS at all? The only time you need that is if you're using styled components. JS code that imports a CSS file, which is questionable in a lot of cases for normal pages. Slides. Just compile your SAS to CSS in your asset there and load it normally with a link element. Yeah. I could turn off CSS loader and implement the content in CSS files. But seems like a workaround to me. What if? What? Ah! Look at this. I mean, that's the fast, dirty solution. I mean, let's see. Yep, it worked. And we're back in business. Everything works properly. I was thinking that this here deserves to be spedizione and fatturazione. So I will just open, I mean, style here is not a thing anymore. It's not. Okay, perfect. What was her name again? I think it's here in shipping. Yeah, Next date. No, it's not. No, it's not. Checkout. Yeah, checkout. Here we are. Maybe I'll capitalize the letter. Looks better to me. And also mobile. Mobile is fine. Okay. So tac. Here we are. Last but not least, I guess that here, well, the CSS is okay. This is okay. Links double. Okay, here we have the thing I was talking about before, the query string key. I will show it to you because I think it's interesting. I saw that a lot of people try to get rid of tracking strings in the URL, and I understand why. I mean, look at this. I just refused to. I just disabled the cookies. So now, if I move around the website, look here. You see this? This thing here is here because of I really don't remember now which GL must be Google. It's Google Ads, I guess, that's tracking the user, and it's trying to track the user even without cookies. Now, if I move between the pages, it will just keep this in the query string, so it will be able to track my movements around the website, which is good for the marketing team, because even if the user refuses all the cookies, as I did, I'm still getting tracked. It's very bad for the URL, because a long URL full of junk is hated, not trusted as much as a clean URL like this is from the users. I mean, this looks much better, and it doesn't look like a virus in layman's eyes. But the worst thing about this kind of URL is that when people copy the URL and share it with other people, then the other people that click on the URL will be tracked as if they were the first person that visited the site, and that's the main issue. Another issue is that which is minor, but all the non-technical people working with you won't have a clue about the fact that this thing has to be stripped away. So I already noticed people we collaborate with that were sharing the link with the tracking ID in it, which means that if they share it on another website, an external website, which makes that a backlink or something, all the people coming on our website from that website will be identified as if they were the first person that got this ID. So that's bad. That's really, really bad. And you have no control about this, because it's really difficult to instruct, to keep track of what all the people in your company and outside your company is doing. But since we have to enhance the tracking system, server side, whatever, I decided not to fight this battle and to keep the string and also to keep it very well. So, I mean, I'm in shop. I pick this menu. Okay, so I'm just confirming that I want it. What happens next is that I have this dialog here, and this is an actual link, so the ID will be carried over properly, and here it happens too. But here, when you click on next, it's actually JavaScript that receives the response from the server and sends you, navigates you with Windows location equals whatever to this page. So what happened before was that going from here to here, we lost the tracking. So people reached the confirmation page and were not tracked. By keeping the query string, I have this thing up and running. Look, query. I have to learn to say query string. Keep. If you pass a key, an array of keys to keep, this code will just take whatever is in get and dump it back in the query string. So if you put something, if you put _gl in the query string, like here, for example. So let's say I'm doing this. Okay. Sorry, here. Now this this should carry over to the next page. Yeah, you can see it here. Okay, even if we are not, even if this is not an anchor. If it were an anchor, the Google whatever gizmo JavaScript mambo jumbo would have rewritten the link. So notice that we moved from this page to another via an anchor and carry over the query string. If you don't have an anchor but a button that triggers some JavaScript that navigates to another page, setting Windows window.location to whatever URL you set there, you will lose the query string. Google is not able to carry it over, so you have to do it manually, and I did it by specifying here in the response. This stuff here goes, it's fed to the JavaScript part, and JavaScript will use this URL, whatever comes out from this function, to navigate to the page, which is the relative link to this page. And in fact, you can see that if you go on, you have ordinary epilogue here, which is exactly what I want. But you also keep the query string if there is this in the query string. You keep this part of the query string. So of course, if I don't have anything here now and I navigate, of course nothing carries over. So apart from this, what were we doing here? We were refactoring because it's a mess, and also checking that this thing, yeah, this is the SVG. If I do this, okay, fine. fine. Well, what about now? I have this header file here, and I'll start moving things to the header file because I really don't need them here. I want to compare this page to another one. Which is some landing page. Where is it? Diet landing. D is here. Diet landing. I've yet to determine if I want to require the stuff directly in the header file or not. Should be reasonable to do that, even because yeah, I mean, this is not needed here. Let's confirm that by manually testing that, but pretty sure I'm right. In fact, is it right? Yeah, because what do you do with products.php? What's in product.php? Oh, landing page, dish images, landing. You know, I won't touch this because my wife is working on this too, so I don't want to break it. I'll leave it like that and whatever. So what I'm gonna move from here is, oh god, I didn't finish. I really didn't finish. I really didn't finish what I had to finish. Check if this is log. If so, load state from DB. Yeah, I didn't finish. What I have to, the problem here is that all the state relative with this page here. So what you have in the cart. Okay, so this kind of stuff. Okay, and this is a bug I already knew about, but I'll have to fix it because it's very annoying. This state here, and also this state here, that you can see the page is not empty. It's pre-filled with what I put inside before, and it still applies if I do this and I make a mistake and I go back to the cart and come back again, it stays the way it was the last time I clicked here. So there's persistence server side. That persistence there is not achieved by means of the database, which I would like because it would give me much more visibility about carts and everything. It is much easier to query and stuff like that. It has been implemented before I started working on this project by using the super global session. and that's awful, because the session is saved to a text file on the server, which is how it's supposed to work, and it's not bad, but I use it as scratch paper. I mean, for instance, one thing that used to happen is that people writes, I don't know, that was because of the autofill that didn't work properly, but people had usually both the name and the surname in this first field and then the surname in the second field. So what I did was to say, let's put a warning more than an error. If you submit the form and there is a repetition of the surname in the name, I tell the user, but if the user is really positive about the fact that this is correct, because I don't know, maybe someone's called Ben, Joe, whatever, okay, they must be able to get through to the last page. So when you click proceed here, we tell you that we noticed there's the surname repeated in the name, but if it's correct, just click here again. This is achieved by using the session superglobal, because I put I do all the checks on the back end, and if I find something like this, I just record this string in the session superglobal with a key like I don't know, shipping I don't know what's this, shipping first name, yeah, shipping first name. So if the same mistake, let's call it a mistake, the same well, let's call it error, comes up again, but with this very same string, which I can compare because I put it in the session, so there is persistence on another request, I just go, whatever, man, it's okay. If the same mistake happens but the name changed, it will tell me this again. Just to show you, if I click twice, I just go on and it recorded the name and the surname with the repetition. So it's just a warning. It's not an error, a blocking error, which can happen if you put the zip code with a letter in it, because the zip code in Italy is in 5 numbers, so you can't get through if you do such a if you trigger such an error. But this thing here can be skipped, and that's how I like to use session. I mean, if I go if I refresh the page, I unset the session for this page, so again we start back from scratch. Okay, they went down the route of putting everything, the content of this, the content of the cart, in the session. Now what happens is that, let's say you are a user, so you can buy on this website even if you're not even if you don't have an account. You can actually create an account right here with the data you submitted by clicking here. So at the end of the checkout process, you will get an email that says just set your password and you're good to go, you will have an account. And the real usefulness of an account on this website is that you can see your previous orders, but it's not mandatory. You can buy, give us an email address. We will just send you the receipt and the details of your order to the email address, And that's it. If you're good at storing stuff in your email and don't lose access to your email, what's the name of it, box, you will have it there. So not mandatory at all, which is kind of a problem, because you can put a wrong email here and you will get nothing, but then probably you will just call our customer service and fix it. What happens? That you may want to log in with your account, which is the second useful feature of having an account. You log in with an account, change the cart, play with it, get to the summary, or submit the shipping data, but then don't buy, and then tomorrow log in to the account with another device, I mean your cell phone, and finish what you started. So buy something, buy the stuff you put in the cart yesterday. I mean, I expect that to work. I expect that if I go here and let's say I register, so let's put this data here, test address. This form is yet to be overhauled, so it's not as good as the other one, and do like this, and register. I guess yes. If I go and look here, I can activate the user. And then I don't remember the password already. If I log in, I created the user. So now that I'm logged in, if I change anything in the cart, I want it to be persisted somewhere that's bound to my account, so that if I log in from another device, I get the same cart on that other device. And this is not happening right now. It's happening just if you log out, but it doesn't make any sense. So what we have to do now is to ensure that every time I add something to the cart, remove something from the cart, change the quantity of something in the cart, or submit the form in the shipping and invoicing page. Nice. Cannot execute statement in a read-only transaction. User preview line 139. That's why you need to test your code. 139, because it's read-only. I mean, it should be read-only. What's wrong with that? The user retrieve order, which was called at this line 1147. 1147. It's exactly here. Retrieve order, start read only. Why? Probably. If you call such, don't you tell me. Cannot execute statement. I mean, user retrieve order should just be a select. Am I right, or am I wrong? Select. Update. Oh god. Yeah, he's actually right. He is actually right. So so if we want this to work, we have to why was it what was it updating again? Update user set origin. Yeah, right, because well, I don't like it anymore. I don't like it anymore. Yeah, we don't have to empty it anymore. So this should work actually. Let's say I take this and do this. It should work. Yeah. When you say retrieve order, it will return the array. So if it sets user order shipping invoice state, populate shipping invoice state, pardon, shipping invoice state I'm not doing this right now because what I want to do is to check where retrieve order is used first. Just here and on login, and I like that because on login login, the way you want to say it, pages login, retrieve order, retrieved order. You see that if there's something, it's set in the session, so it's overriding everything with what's coming up from the database. What we must do is store it. Every time I'm practically every time you change something, the order associative array in the session superglobal is updated. That's how the site worked until now. If you're logged in, we will also take the same associative array and dump it as a JSON in a table in the database. And that's just because we need to have the same data, the very same data for the user in the database. So if at any time you log out or you simply log in from another device, we must be able to recover the state of your checkout from the database. The moment you're not logged in, you will not update. You don't have a user ID, so you're not able to update anything in the database or to retrieve anything for the database. So you will just solely rely on the session. If you log out from your account and start fiddling with your cart and the checkout process without being logged in, you are not able to recover the same data from other devices, and that's what I want. So grep -r user store, it's store, I don't remember it's store. I closed the page, of course. Include dog food, business logic, car, not cart, user, store order, yeah, it's store, store order. And then we have to wait because grep on Windows Assistant for Linux is not that good. Okay, I already removed it from everywhere else because I used to store on logout. We don't anymore. And now we are ready to put it in all the other places, which I conveniently wrote on a piece of paper the other day. But okay, I did this so I can delete it. I did this as well. So this page is actually complete because there's nothing left to do here. Just a moment, because I have to I have a lot of paper with notes. I have to keep them up to date. Well, actually, it's not finished. So I can ignore this. There's more here. Oh, I didn't break anything, but I will still check the code. That's nice, but we don't need it now. This is actually very important for deployment tonight. This works, so just this remains. Sorry for this boring moment. If you're a past broadcaster, you'll be able to move fast to the moment I start programming again. So just when this thing will move, I can't see my cursor actually. Uh, that's something to check. Handle form submit. No, okay, this is not useful. This I'm doing it. I'm not finding what I'm looking for. Not finding what I'm looking for. I swear I checked. This may be it. Here. So let's do this and move to this page. I will have to end the stream in a moment because my wife came back home. We will have to do that here because we added something to the cart. Then, sorry, we modified the cart. We added something to the cart here. We deleted something here. Either deleted or updated. Here. Here you increase. Here you decrease. So again, here. Here you're just retrieving the quantity, so no. This should be one of those cases instead, because I don't like the way it's done, but it's done like this. When you this, look, when you're here and you click one of those, actually you're sending a request on the back end, and this code is being executed. And this is something here you're asking to get reminder emails when you finish your food, because we're selling food here. And here you're asking not to get the reminder emails. So this actually changes the session down. If we go to this file and send automated email, you can see that this member is changed, and then update is called, and update actually changes this, which is the session. This is not code I wrote. I don't particularly like it, but it's here. It's long to refactor, so for the moment it will say like this, and we'll simply check if the user is logged in here and dump everything to the database. So what we need to do, I conveniently put this boolean here in session. So is user. So we can simply do something like this. If session, which we have because it's here. Okay. Okay, not what I wanted. If session is user, here we I keep writing when I can just do this and copy paste stuff around. I don't know why I'm so eager to write stuff. User store order, which requests the database. What? The user ID, so session user ID, because we also have that. Yep. Which we must cast to integer, because if his user is true, user ID is an int, it's not null. We will need this cast because the static analyzer will complain, you'll see. And I could do this and show you actually. And then, which is the last one, the order. So simply like this. I think that's the right one. I think that's the right one. And this stuff here, we will go and copy it all around where I put the to-dos before, but let's do it a little bit in a clever way. Here, then here, 25 down, then now that Qt is gone, rename it. Yeah, well, not really. And here. This means that if I'm right, am I logged in right now? Yeah, I'm logged in. So if I'm right and I go, I can't find it here, and look at this. Well, let me do this. You can see that order JSON now it's null, but if I do anything here, so like, oh, okay, everything's broken. Why everything? it will never work at the first try. Let's say I do this. And analyze the code because I'm I think I know. I think I know. Yeah. I must use the class here because if I don't. Okay, now it's working. Huh? It's not? It was pretending to. Only variables should be passed by reference. Oh, really? 269. What's wrong with you? What the hell? Which one is not a variable in your imagination? Only variable. It's a notice. Why are we showing notices? Only variables should be passed by reference. On line 269. 269, which is this. Is it passed by reference though? I mean, these are just arrays. So, and if I move to page, closure contents, there's no reference anywhere. I really don't know what's happening. Okay, let's say I don't want to report all the errors. Let's say I do this. Is it happening anymore? Yeah, it's still happening. Why is it still happening? Notice. Only variables should be. I'm really baffled. And expects a variable, not a reference. It's not a variable, it's an assignment, as the documentation said. This array is passed by reference because it is modified by the function. This means you must pass it a real variable and not a function returning an array, because only actual variables may be passed by reference. You should do this instead. What? Am I doing anything like that? I mean, supplementary information is a variable. Cart is a variable too. What's wrong? What is wrong with you? You never complained. Update, increase. Oh, okay. No, wait. I'm looking at the. No. Yeah. I'm looking at the wrong file. I'm tired, guys. 269. Here, that's the issue. Oh, what is this? Exactly what they said. I never encountered that function. What does and do? Set the internal pointer of an array to its last element. Okay. Strange. Let's do this. If it's set menu get scalar discount count. This count will be this guy here. Else this count will be this guy here. And then they should be functionally equivalent, but shouldn't complain. There we go. So I guess I solved that bug that was bugging me without even noticing. And that's very, very good. Very, very good. Love it. Environment shouldn't be set to production, actually. It should be set to development. So okay, well, that's the way it is. And if we go here, you see that order JSON has changed. And if I remove something from the cart, that will change again. So it probably did. It's just difficult to see from here. Let's say we do this, and we, oh god, you see why I want to get rid about it. Look at this thing. It's terrible. Using a relational database and then doing that, it's, I mean, not the way to go. This is what we have now. If I go and I mean, for instance, go to the shop and add something else like this guy here. Don't bother. Don't be bothered about the missing images here. I know what's going on, and everything's working fine in production. If I do this and go copy the same thing again, so let's do this. No, didn't work. Let's copy this, paste it here, and you see it's longer. So it worked much longer. There must be another product. It must be equal till a certain point. Okay. It's very long. Yeah, and it changed. Here it changed. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. And that makes me a happy kid. So we achieved, this must be closed. This is actually, we store the order here, modify, add, delete, increase, decrease, send automated email. So that's fine. We covered all the places here. Oh god, okay. There's also the coupon thing. This is okay. Well, I don't know if are you Italian? Oh, okay, I just read the chat. Yeah, that bot is really stupid, and I'm not I don't know how to delete the comment in the chat. I'm pretty new to this streaming thing. Yeah, I'm Italian, by the way. I'm Italian, but I'm trying to do it in English because I guess I will have a little bit of a bigger audience. Ciao. Quindi sei italiano anche tu. Tra l'altro mi hai beccato in chiusura proprio perché sono le 11:30, quindi sarà ora anche di darci un taglio. Che poi in realtà probabilmente continuerò ancora un po', perché devo finire sta cosa e pubblicarla di notte quando tutti dormono. Ma non è più ora di parlare. Programmatore anche tu? È un e-commerce, te lo mostro, aspetta. Eccolo qua. Un e-commerce di un'azienda italiana che vende pasti pronti. È stato sviluppato già a suo tempo, tutto completamente custom in PHP, e quindi lo stiamo continuando a mantenere. A 4 hai cominciato. Io ho cominciato alla tua età invece, a 13. E niente, sto finendo di unire due pagine che sono queste, o meglio, questa è la pagina che risulta dall'unione di una parte sopra, che è questa, e una parte sotto, che è questa. Io per PHP ho sto su un server durante le fasi di coding. Sì, io lavoro tutto quanto in locale, quindi tutto quello che vedi adesso è su localhost, e poi il sito di produzione invece è su un server a sé stante, e pubblichiamo le modifiche man mano. Ah, ok, proprio locale, hardware in casa. Io quello non l'ho mai fatto, nel senso ho installato qualche volta, boh, a parte adesso che sto lavorando su Docker, perché alla fin fine il server sta girando qua dentro. Dov'è? Qua. Vedi che tutte queste qua sono le risposte da Apache, questa in viola. Ma a parte installarmi Apache direttamente su Linux, e quindi avere il server HTTP che gira sulla stessa macchina su cui sto programmando, per il resto no. Hardware effettivamente diverso, non so, un Raspberry col server che ci giri sopra, non mi sono mai premurato di farlo, sempre affittato una VPS e via andare. Ti capisco. Io basta, sono stufo delle virtual machine. Ci ho dovuto sbattere la testa contro anni fa per lavoro, e adesso se posso evito. Guarda, io ti saluterò e chiuderò perché sono già oltre l'orario. E se ti capita di ripassare su Twitch, io adesso non so esattamente quando streamerò di nuovo. Fammi dare un'occhiata al calendario, perché devo ancora mettere in piedi una programmazione, una roba. È la prima sera che faccio live. Potenzialmente forse domani sera, molto più probabilmente venerdì. Venerdì potrebbe essere tipo dalle 6, un paio di orette. Sì, dai. Ok, grazie di essere passato. E se ci sentiamo venerdì, facciamo due chiacchiere. Buonanotte. Per aumentare la tua audience devi mettere il tag in inglese. Ah, vedi, ecco, questo non lo sapevo. Non l'ho fatto. Lo farò la prossima volta. Perfetto, grazie. Non avevo idea. E quindi è ancora peggio perché tu vieni trovato come italiano, parli inglese, gli italiani non ti capiscono e se ne vanno. Pensa a te. Grazie della dritta. Ciao ciao, buonanotte.